I finally finished playing Alien Isolation on my second channel after literal years. I'll link the playlist of all the videos in the description and up here if you want to watch it. And to celebrate this amazing accomplishment, I'm going to make a video about one of the movies that spawned this wretched game. So without further ado, welcome to Alien. That starts with a really long intro sequence of the word alien being spelled out. Finish up, we know what the word is. No one here walked into this movie not knowing what the name of the movie is. Come on, we all know. Go on, please, faster. Finish the fuck up, come on! The Nostromo, a commercial towing mining space vessel ship, is making its way through space going back to Earth with a crew of 7 on board who get woken up by the ship from hypersleep. They freshen up, eat, smoke, play with their cat. Smoking in outer space is ridiculous and no space science astronaut person would ever allow this because it's insane. Plus, you have an orange cat on board. Ask any cat person, that's the most destructive, unpredictable, retarded type of cat there is, and it's probably more of a hazard to the spaceship than smoking. But anyway, Captain goes to consult with Mother, which is like mission control or something like that for this whole operation. Goes into this place that looks like an inside-out Death Star to consult with her and finds out that they are nowhere near planet Earth. The rest of the crew finds that out as well, and he tells them that Mother has diverted them away to go investigate a planet that sent out a distress signal nearby, which is something they're contractually obligated to do. And after some of them go a little bit like this,
Dad, did you promise Morty a dragon?
they eventually all go over to the planet and take a smaller ship to go investigate the message from the unknown life form on that planet. They have sort of a rough landing which damages a little bit of the ship, so the 2 mechanics of the ship, Black Dude and Hat Guy, start fixing it while Captain, Generic White Bitch, and Short-Haired Female get into spacesuits to go to investigate the source of the signal and see what's up. Chief Science Officer, or Medbay Guy, because I'm guessing he's the designated medic on board, is in charge of communications with the 3 c***s on the spacewalk, while Ripley, the main character, is chilling deciphering the distress signal. The spacewalkers make it to an alien ship which they identify as the source of the signal, and when they get closer they lose signal with Medbay Guy, whose name is Ash. They enter the spaceship, see a dead fossilized alien with a broken open chest. The female exclaims that they should get out of here, and that's the second time she does that, yet the sexist male pigs don't listen to her. For fuck's sake, you got lucky and got a woman that isn't retarded for once in these movies. Listen to her, stupid bitches. Anyway, the dumbass men find a hole and decide to rappel down that to see what's down there, while Ripley tells Ash that the message got partially deciphered using sci-fi bullshit and it's not an SOS, it's more of a warning signal. She wants to go out and get them, but he's like, nah baby chill, which is stupid, but it turns out he's an android humanoid robot thing with an ulterior motive, so can't really nitpick that. What I can nitpick though is what the 2 retards and 1 smart female are doing on a spacewalk in that fucking alien ship. They send Generic White Guy down using a rope and he finds a bunch of leathery eggs with alien life inside, and instead of going, oh shit, gotta scoot, he's like, I'm gonna touch it. Yeah. I cannot begin to describe how big of a bozo move that is. Put yourself in the same scenario, fuck it, you don't even have to be in space. Just imagine you're in a remote cave in Africa or some shit. You find 1 singular egg that's half your size. No sane human being is gonna think to stay and finger fuck that shit, okay? In that situation, you run. And this is a highly trained, highly smart and stable astronaut as they're supposed to be. Unless in this movie's universe they let anybody be an astronaut, then that's different. Also, similarly, it could be very normal in this movie's universe to have astronauts go check out alien life forms and shit, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a stupid thing, and whoever allowed it to go through or become a rule or whatever should be shot. Anyway, retard inspects one of the eggs very closely. It opens up and a facehugger lunges at him, goes through his visor and latches onto his face. Captain and short hair girl carry him back to the ship and contact Ripley, who's next in command if the captain is not on board. They tell her what the dealio is and she refuses to let them in because it's protocol to quarantine them for 24 hours for decontamination when a situation like this arises. They keep going back and forth with the let us ins and the no's and the commands and blah, blah. Eventually Ash manually overrides the door and lets them in. They take the dude over to the med bay, take the suit off of him, and wasn't he wearing something underneath his helmet, like a balaclava thing? Shouldn't the facehugger be wrapped around it? Where is it? Why is it gone? Whatever. Lots of good suggestions are made on how to deal with him, but they're all shot down by Ash because he's a and instead he shoves them into a scanner along with the thing on his face, scans him and determines that the thing has a massive cock down his throat that feeds him oxygen into his lungs. It has him in a coma, but it's sort of also keeping him alive, so if they take it off he might die, and that's what he says. But Captain makes the decision to take it off his face anyway, despite the risks involved. They're gonna do that by cutting off his digits and ripping it off his face. However, once he starts taking a knife to its skin, the little sucker starts bleeding acid that rips through the floor and almost burns a hole through the whole ship. So it through the floor of the ship plus 3 more floors, but the guy's hand is fine. Then he put his hand over it to stop the bleeding with a piece of cloth. Whatever though, they let Ash run tests on the creature that's stuck on his face and just leave the guy like that. Obviously if it were up to me, I'd have thrown that guy out of the ship a long time ago, but I'm only saying that because I did this whole thing backwards and played the game first before watching the movie. Ripley goes to check on Ash, somehow entering the med bay without opening the door, or at least opening the door very quietly, so he gets startled and she asks him what he found out about the creature, and he tells her that it's a pretty tough little piece of shit that can't be killed very easily, and she's like, yeah, and you let it in. Starts busting his chops about doing that, disobeying a direct order from her and disobeying a very strict protocol for quarantining this shit. Keeps going, what do you want me to do? You want me to leave him outside like that, blah blah blah, and then he goes, you do your job and let me do mine. She was, you android fuck, you're the one that wasn't doing that job and was doing her job instead. Fucking hypocritical bitch. Why isn't Ripley more angry at this line? She just leaves, so does he. And when he eventually comes back, he finds out that the facehugger's no longer hugging the face of that generic white bitch. So he calls over Ripley and the captain to look for door inside this room, and they keep the door open for a whole 20 seconds unattended, giving the thing more than enough time if it were alive to scuttle its way out of there. Plus, they didn't even turn on the lights while looking for it. What kind of scuffed ass retarded astronauts are these people? Whatever, thing eventually falls on Ripley dead from the ceiling. They inspect this presumed lifeless carcass. Ripley wants to get rid of it, Ash doesn't, he wants to keep it and bring it back to Earth. The captain is indifferent, just wants to leave his planet, so he leaves the decision up to Ash, and Ripley gets really mad at him for that. Well, they leave Ash alone to fingerfuck that thing and run experiments on it or whatever. The ship gets fixed enough for them to take off and leave this godforsaken planet. They get back to the bigger ship, have another meeting with the rest of the crew minus Ash, where they calculate they have 10 months before they get back to Earth, and the captain makes a decision to put Kane, the generic white dude that was sucking on a facesucker's dick for a while, in quarantine, because at the moment he's still very much in a coma, unconscious, and probably infected with something really bad, so they want to put him in quarantine. Or is he in a coma? Because Ash calls everyone over to see that Kane has woken up and seems fine. They do a total of like one check where they ask him, yo, are you okay? And he's like, I guess. So they celebrate him being fine by having a big meal together. But then he starts freaking out and screaming, flailing around. They hold him down. Blood bursts out of his chest and a little baby alien xenomorph pops out of his chest and bolts off into some random direction. Hey, dipshits, you know, because someone says they're fine or seems they're fine on the outside doesn't mean they're actually fine. You know, there's lots of people walking around feeling and looking fine but actually have stage 17 super cancer. The decision of putting him in quarantine should have still stood even if he was awake. Plus, did you do any checks at all on him other than asking him if he was okay? I for sure know you didn't put him in that scanning machine, because if you did, you would have seen a 15-inch dildo-shaped thing inside of him. Whatever. They conduct a space burial for Kane where they yeet his body off into space. Then they rig up a few of these electrocution sticks and a motion sensor or motion sensors. I don't know if they made more than one. I don't care. Then they split up in two groups of three, each armed with a net to try and catch this little fucker. Like that'll do anything. The little vibrator-shaped alien had enough power to burst out of a human ribcage. You think that net's gonna do anything, you fucking idiots? These are the worst astronauts ever, man. Get a metal bucket or something. I know for sure later on you show us that you have a cage for the cat. Why don't you get that, you dumb bitches? Oh, fuck this, man. Ripley and the two mechanics go search in one place, detect some motion in this hatch, find out it's just Jones the Catito, and dipshit hat guy lets it get away. They tell him he's retarded for doing that because now the cat can just show up again on their motion detectors, and they had to catch him anyway, so they tell him to go get him on his own, which is ironically more retarded of them to do because the whole point of them going on groups is now nullified by you doing this, you fucking idiots. He could get caught and fucked by the, as far as you know, highly dangerous alien, which is what happens actually after wandering around a little bit and finding the cat. He also finds a used condom, which is actually the shed skin of that tiny alien, and when he actually goes to get the cat, the now grown and massive alien drops behind him and fucking rips him in the ass. The cat just sits there unfazed and watches because that's what cats do. Ripley and black dude, freaking Jamal or whatever, apparently caught a glimpse of the alien sucking him up into the air ducts, and they figure that the alien is using the air ducts to move around, and they report that back to the rest of the crew. Jamal rigs up a few flamethrowers because most animals are afraid of fire, so why wouldn't this one be? The captain goes off to consult and take advice from Mother on how to deal with this situation, but all she got is some shit along the lines of don't know and don't care, you're on your own. So the captain decides to go into the vents and sort of shoot and force the alien using the flamethrower into a vent that leads to an airlock so they can shoot it out into space as well. While the rest of the crew stays behind and locks all the airlocks behind him after he clears them and tracks his position and the alien's position on the motion detector. He goes up into the vents, lights it up a few times to check that the alien's not there and sort of shoot away. They close the hatches behind him, but eventually the alien catches up to him and he's not able to light it on fire and it kills him. Everybody starts freaking out when they regroup. Short-haired girl makes another brilliant suggestion, which is to take the escape shuttle, blow this place up and hope that someone traveling through space finds them and picks them up. But Rip says that's not an option because the shuttle can't take 4. Fuck you mean it can't take 4, bitch? Squeeze in there. That's fucking cat, bro. Does she mean that they have like less than 4 hibernation pods in that shuttle? Then just share. Take turns. That's for times, bitch. Whatever. She still thinks that the captain's previous plan is still a valid plan. And apparently Ash also has access to Mother, and Ripley asks Ash if Mother has any suggestions for what to do, and he's like, nah, she's still computing. She got like a bad Wi-Fi connection. She's sort of weird. She's like, well, you're obviously full of shit. I'm in command now. I can go talk to her myself. So she goes into the inside out Death Star and types some shit into the archaic old computer, aka Mother, and finds out there's a special order she's not allowed to see. So she overrides it with her high authority now to see this special order and finds out that Mother always knew about the alien and tasked Ash to bring it back at all costs, even if it costs the crew its lives. So she leans back in disbelief and we find Ash sitting there poking his head out like you fucking that meme died out ages ago. How are people opening doors so quietly to sneak up on other people like this? This is what the doors sound like. How is this fucking possible? It doesn't matter. I'm not mad. She is though. She's mad at hell. Storms out, tries to go through this like dining room, living quarters area, but he keeps locking and shutting the doors on her, trapping her in there. She starts bleeding from her nose for some reason, although he didn't even start attacking her yet, and he starts sweating milk. Then he finally attacks her and throws her around a bit and into this pod full of porn. And would you like to hazard a guess on how this robot with basically all the knowledge in the world, probably on human anatomy, tries to kill this woman? Let me give you a few choices. Does he A, choke her to death? B, snap her neck? C, stab her in the heart with a knife from the dinner table? Or D, shove a Playboy magazine down her throat? I'm gonna give you exactly 1 second to guess what it is in the comment section below, and look at that, time's up. It is actually D this time, guys. What the fuck, man? What's even worse is that the other two come over to try and help her, and he starts attacking Jamal by grabbing his titty and squeezing it really hard. What the fuck? This robot's kind of gay, not gonna lie. Jamal somehow gets free from the death grip Ash has on his titty and starts beating him up with something. Then Ash starts malfunctioning and projectile vomiting milk everywhere. Jamal smacks his head off and they find out that he's a robot. He still tries to attack them with no head. So no hit. Short-haired girl electrocutes him to kill him. Somehow Jamal is not affected by the electricity. After that, they hotwire him back on just to see if he has any info on how to kill this alien. But fucking Bukaki robot with dry jizz all over his face just goes, y'all are fucked. It's the perfect organism. Good luck, bitches. I can't show most of this, by the way, because dumbass YouTube classifies this as gore. I know this because I had to re-upload part 10 of my Alien Isolation playthrough twice because it kept getting age restricted by YouTube for having a bunch of dismembered robots all over the place in a video game. Actually, while I'm on the topic of bashing YouTube, other than removing the dislike button, which is the dumbest fucking update ever, why the fuck did you have to round off the thumbnails of all the videos? This is the most useless and annoying change ever. I literally had to go through all my old thumbnails and fix them so that my border fits now, you fucking bitches. Anyway, enough of that. If you really want to see the uncensored version, go check it out on my Patreon. Had to do the self-plug. Now let's go to something else that's being unplugged. It's the fucking robot. They had enough of that less than useless piece of shit. Unplug it and burn it up with a flamethrower. Change your plan, decide to go into the escape shuttle, take their chances and blow up this place. Ripley asks the two of them to go get extra coolant that they're gonna need for a long-range trip in the shuttle while she goes to prepare the shuttle itself. She hears the Kato in the space shuttle and, goes around looking for it in there, finds it and puts it in his cage. Meanwhile, Jamal and short-haired girl are chucking around metal coolant canisters like they're fucking pillows. Yeah, you keep throwing that loud ass shit, buddy. Just keep ringing those dinner bells, you morons. Because this situation totally does not require you to be as quiet as possible, you stupid fucking human shit stains. The alien obviously comes for them because he heard that shit, or maybe he smelled their stupidity or something. It sizes up the woman. Jamal keeps telling her to get out the way if she won't because she's frozen in fear. And he doesn't use the flamethrower, he keeps yelling at her to get out the way, then finally jumps on the alien to try and protect her. You absolute fucking toilet brain. You really think you can overpower an alien that, must I repeat, was strong enough to burst through a human bone cage when it was a baby? Also, why are you telling her to get out the way? Are the coolant canisters behind her also flammable and you don't want to blow the ship up early? Do you want to protect her from the fire? You know if she moves, the alien's just gonna follow her, so just fucking use the Flammenwerfer, Hans. What is wrong with you? Whatever, man. Alien kills that dude, then fucking rips the other bitch to death with his tail. I'm not even kidding with that one. This could have been a real possibility. Just look where his tail's going, alright? It's not me that's being gruesome, it's a movie. I'm just laying the facts out for you. Ripley heard all the screaming and the yelling on their comms devices and came over to find them both dead, so she runs over to the command center to initiate the self-destruct sequence, which gives her exactly 10 minutes to escape the ship, the first 5 of which she's still able to cancel the self-destruct sequence, but after that there's no way to stop the ship's detonation. So she mashes all the buttons and does all the shit she needs to do to activate it, takes the cat and runs over to the shuttle, but then Alien shows up around the corner right before the shuttle and she sort of panics, leaves the cat and runs away back to the self-destruct sequence thing to cancel it, give herself some more time, but she's unable to cancel it in time, gets really mad at that, and now she's locked in for a suicidal fireworks show if she does not get off the ship in time. So she runs back very carefully, making her way to the shuttle, checking all her corners for the alien that is no longer there. So she takes the cat that for some reason was spared by the alien and goes into the shuttle, straps herself in and flies off with seconds to spare with the thing blowing up in the distance. She believes the worst is over and she killed the alien. It doesn't take a genius or a fortune teller. You don't even have to have played the game first to know that the alien is on board with her. It's a super easy horror movie prediction. She takes the cat out of the box, puts it in a hibernation pod, starts undressing and getting comfy. She got mad bush and no ass. Then surprise surprise finds out that the alien is on board with her. She does a little scream, but the alien does not attack her, probably because it's snapping. Yeah, look, it's snuggling and trying to get comfortable. Does a little yawn with its mouth tongue thing while she's hiding in the space suit storage area. Scared for her life. When she gets an idea, she puts the suit on, loads up a harpoon gun, hops in a chair, straps herself in, and prepares to open the rear hatch to launch the alien out of the shuttle. So while pressing the buttons that preps the shuttle to do all that stuff, the alien gets annoyed and wakes up, goes to attack her, so she smashes the button to open the rear hatch and the air rushes out and the alien gets sucked out along with it, but holds on to the edge of the door to save itself. So Rip shoots the harpoon gun at it to force it out, lets go of the gun and closes the hatch, but the rope gets jammed in the door. The alien starts getting dragged behind the shuttle and ends up in one of the exhaust vents for the jets, so she turns it on full blast to fry that sucker, burn the rope and get rid of him. After that she records one last audio log report and goes into hypersleep, hoping that someone traveling through space like her will find her and pick her up in her shuttle. This movie gets 13 gallons of alien saliva out of 85 liters of almond milk. Dude, we get it. It spells out the word alien. Finish the letters, for fuck's sake. Yes, it's an L. We know, it's an L. Fuck, this is taking longer than it took me to finish the game.